Hello guys, welcome all of you to Night Code. Today we are going to be looking at how we can take users input, validate them and store them in our database. As you can see, here we have some input fields. So now I am going to fill those spaces. I have entered my first name, last name, email address, mobile number, and now I am going to enter a password, and I have also selected a gender as male. So since I already don't have an account or I haven't signed in, so I am going to sign up. After I click this, here you can see we get a notification saying a success. So what exactly? Here I am inserting my name. Here I have filled my details and I am here inserting my password, and here I'm going to click sign up. Since we registered before, you can see in our database we have our details here, so it's not going to let us register again with the system, so it's giving us error. You as user with the same email or mobile already exists. So let's go to our code and see how it's done. At first we need to create a database. So let's go to our database software. In this case I'm using MySQL Workbench. Here is our model. In here we have our user table, city, gender, province and district table. User and gender has one-to-many relationship. City and user has many-to-many relationship, and city and district has one-to-many relationship. Province and district has one-to-many relationship. So after forward engineering this, we can get our database. So let's go back to in our code. So this is our project. Here you can see we have our regular files as index.php, script.js, style.css. In addition to that, here we have some new files as connection.php, signupprocess.php. Before go any further, we need to go and look in our connection.php file. In here you can see we have start our PHP script here, and here we have keyword called class and then a name called database. This database is the name of this class. Within our class scope, here we have variable, and in front of the variable here we have static. Static allow us to use this variable within our project anywhere. Then here we have a function called setup connection. In here we have a if condition, and here we have a not sign, and then here we have is set, and then here have our variable. Is set is going to check whether this variable have a value or not. In here we have database then connection. What they say is the connection variable which is in database class. Then within our if condition, here we have database connection new MySQL. This new MySQL allow us to create a new connection between our web page and our server, and that has been assigned into our connection which is in database class. Within MySQL two brackets, here we have IP address, then username and password and our database, and here have our port. After the setup connection function, here we have another function called IUD. Within brackets, here we have given some parameters. When we call this function, we need to specify those parameters. Unless we do that, we cannot use this function. Within it, here we have called our setup connection function, which is in our database class. Then the next line we have query. In the next line we are going to take these parameters as a query and execute them using this connection which is in our database class. The next static function is search. We also have specified some parameters. In first line it's going to call setup connection function and create a connection between our website and the server. In the next line, since this is a search function, this is going to give us output. After executing this query using this connection in our database class, it's going to give us the result set. So we are now storing that result set in our result set variable. In the last line here, it's going to give us an output of this result set. So now let's go into our index.php file. In here you can see we have our gender. Instead of hard coding our values into this, we have used our database connection to find what are the values in the gender and insert them here. So let's see how we have done that. First we have our require keyword, and this is going to import connection.php file into our this index.php file. The next line here we have our search function, and within the search function here we have, in this case it's a query. So after executing this search query, it's going to give us a output. It's going to be assigned into our $rs variable. In the next line here we have rs and numbers. In here numbers is going to check how many rows are available in the result set and assign that number of rows into $n variable. Then here we have our for loop. Within here we have a new variable x and it's assigned to 0. Then here we have check whether the x is less than our number of rows, and here we have add one number to the x. Within this for loop here we have rs fetch assoc. Fetch assoc function is going to take one row from the result set and assign that into our variable t. And here we have closed our first PHP script. After that PHP script, here we have a HTML code. Here we have an option tag, and then here we have value, and here we have another PHP script. In here you can see $d and id. id is the name of the associate array value, and it's going to give us the relevant value of the name id and print it here. Then here we have report $d and gender name. This is going to print the type of genders in here. Then again we have started our PHP script, and we have closed our for loop, and we have closed our PHP script. When we run this code, this for loop is going to be run for 2 times, and it will give us the gender types as male and female and values as 1 and 2. Also here look, we have given IDs to our input fields. So now let's go into our script.js file. In here you can see we have a sign up function. This is going to be called after user filled the input fields and press the sign up button. And here in these lines we have taken the input tags and assigned them into new variable names. In here we have created a new form using new form data, and we have inserted the value of these input tags into this form and have given some names to the relevant values. In here we have created a AJAX connection with the server. In this line, onReady state change is going to check whether our server's state has been changed. If it has been changed, this function is going to be called. It's an anonymous function in this case. Then here we have ready state. This ready state going to listen to our server and check whether the state is equal to 4. 4 means the server has processed all our requests and ready to give us the output. In the next line here we have response text. Response text is going to take the output from the server and assign them into response variable. After here we have if else condition. In here, if the response is equal to success, this is going to execute, else this is going to execute. In here we have open. What this means is open is used to specify the method that we are using. In this case it is post, and then we specify which file we are going to submit this data, and then we specify this is a AJAX or AJAX. In this case it's a AJAX, it's going to be true. Then send, we are going to send this request and form has been embedded with it. Let's go to sign up process.php file. In here we also have required our connection.php file, and insert our PHP connection.php file into this sign up process.php file, and here we have specified some new variable names, and we have used same method to take the values. This is our validation part. We are using empty to check whether the input field is empty, and we are using strlen for find out how many characters are available in there. Also, here we have filter bar. It's a filter which has been developed by PHP, and here we have specified our variable, and here we have input our filter. In this case, it's a filter validate email, since we are going to validate our email in here. By this filter, it's going to check whether that email has @ sign and the dot before the form. In here, we have given a O in the middle. So if one of these condition is true, this if condition is going to be executed. In here we have given a frag match. Frag match means we are giving a pattern to check the variable. In here we have specified which should be our first two digits, and then here we have our third digit, and then we have the rest of the digit. After the validation part, here we have our else part. In here we have our select query. This select query going to check our database to find whether there is an email or mobile equal to what the user has inserted in the input field. Here we are using the search function and storing that result in $rs variable. In here we are checking how many rows are available in there. If there is no rows available, so that means the user is a new user and hasn't been registered before. So it's going to be executed this part. In here we are taking the current date and time, and here we are taking our time zone. In this part, it's going to insert this time zone into our date time. In this part, we are specifying a format as YMDHIS. This is year, month, day, hours, minutes and seconds. So in this line, after executing this line, we are going to get a date in the format of year, month, date, then hours, minutes and second. Next, here we have a insert query. After executing this insert query, the new user's values are going to be stored in our database. Here we are using our IUD function to execute this insert query. After storing users data in our database, this success is going to be printed. So let's go back to our script.js file. After printing success, this response text is going to take that response and store that in the response variable, and in here it's going to check whether it's equal to success. In this case it's success, so it's going to execute this part. After that, user can go to sign in page and sign into the home page. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks all of you to join with me. See you in the next video with the next part of our project.